Hello and welcome back to Open, everyone. Don't forget, we're inviting you to get social with us. That's right. I hope you dug a little bit of that uprock that just happened when we went to break. So tweet us at BronxNet TV and tweet me while you're there at Rhina Valentin. We want to hear from you. All right. So what creates health? What Creates Health, a summit hosted by the New York City Department of Health, looks to bring the community together in a fun and engaging way to discuss health-related topics. Here now to share more is Assistant Commissioner Javier Lopez and founder of Radical Health, Ivalis Andino, Austria. And welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank
you
you
very much.
Yes, well, I'm still catching my breath. Even though I only did a few of those. However, this is the idea of what creates health, right? That was a perfect example of executing it in a way that it's fun and you don't even realize that you're exercising until you're out of breath.
Right. And completely culturally relevant too, right? To the Bronx, to your roots, to get you engaged without even realizing.
Yes. And let's just start first with the initiative that's originating from the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, because I happen to be a little hung up on the fact that we need a lot more mental health awareness.
Yeah, so the New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene 2 years ago established a division named the Center for Health Equity, which I'm the Assistant Commissioner for. And in the last 2 years, we've been building up awareness that health inequities across New York City, specifically in the Bronx and other boroughs, need to be addressed differently. So What Creates Health, which is happening tomorrow at Hostos Community College from 12 to 8 p.m., is a celebration of artists, activists, and community leaders who have been working to improve health inequities in their neighborhoods, but we're never connecting it to public health. So we as the Department of Health are saying, let's come together. Let's discuss racial inequity. Let's address structural racism. Let's bring together the problem solvers in those areas and say, you are health problem solvers, you are public health problem solvers, you are the individuals that we need in the public health community to really reduce the rates of inequities in diabetes, hypertension, and also think about trauma. Trauma has been very prominent in the news lately. If we think about racial trauma, we cannot in the public health community turn a blind eye to that. We have to work with the activists who are trying to improve their neighborhoods, because improving the neighborhood from a trauma standpoint and mental well-being and to social cohesion will improve health outcomes long term.
Absolutely. Wow, that was so refreshing to listen to, because it does. It starts from inside.
Yes, it does.
It starts inside first. And so, I really am interested in the name of your organization, Radical
Health. Right?
Radical Health.
So
it's like radical. So what? Is this like some new age, That's
right. So if you want to think about it that way,
no, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, we started with this idea, started around my dining room table, very similar to this. What happens if you bring together doctors, nurses, parents, students, your neighbor that sits on the stoop all day, and the mother? What happens if you bring them around the table to talk about healthcare? What happens if you segment that, not just healthcare in a clinical setting, but all of the facets that come into play? What happens when you talk about the injustices, the trauma, but also, your local parks and access to green space and healthy food. And so we created this organization to really address those health disparities, but from a cohesive, community-oriented perspective.
All right, so it sounds like a round table, right?
It's more than a round table.
But the beauty of what I'm listening to, aside from the fact that it also sounds like a democracy, which is what we need.
That's right. Yes, we do.
We need it in office too. Anywho.
And the beauty of this event is that it really speaks to democracy. It says the health department cannot solve this, right? The top-down policy days have evolved. Leaders like Ivalis would never have been invited a couple of years ago to plan with the health department. We're planning with Bronx leaders, we're planning with citywide leaders to really problem solve. And that's a different frame for the health department. That's what health equity is all about. So we're really, it's no surprise that we're doing at Hostos.
Right.
Because the foundation of Hostos is based on democracy and community saying we need our own space
and
to
artistry
educate.
too, because they actually execute some really nice, I mean, between the center, the art gallery,
it's wonderful.
It's really the messaging, and that obviously that's what's going on here, right? And so you partner up with artists who are going to present it in whatever form or whatever genre, be it visual, be it spoken word, be it through music, be it through dancing. There's a a conversation that is universal from that perspective, addressing these particular issues, especially mental. Mental is a big deal for me too.
If you think about HIV/AIDS in the 1980s, right, a lot of the awareness that needed to come up came from the artist community. So we're going back to really the origin of how to address public health issues, and we're doing it in a way that is with Black and brown leaders.
Right.
Because sometimes we tend not to highlight those leaders and those activists in the public health setting, and we're doing that tomorrow.
Nice. Because Black Lives Matter.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
And moving on to this project, and so it's happening all day tomorrow. It's a family affair. What should people look forward to in arriving there? Are there going to be kiosks? Obviously there's going to be all kinds of performances, so please feel free to share everybody and anybody who you'd like to mention.
So we'll let Evelise to talk about her.
Yeah, so Radical Health will be hosting a community-based conversation where we're going to have students from the Bronx, a doctor, we'll have fitness from Revolutionary Fitness, and we're going to talk about what creates health and what are the things that we need to see here from Bronx natives in the Bronx as it pertains to health across the spectrum.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we're going to have artists, throughout the day doing paintings and renditions of what they're hearing from the audience and from folks who are coming from 12 to 8 p.m.
So you have live art
painting going on
nice.
Simultaneously,
Cool.
around the clock DJ. We're going to have folks really doing interpretive dancing. So we're really running the gamut of the creative arts community and saying this is a platform to talk about health. And when you walk out of there, whether it be at 12:30 or at 5 p.m., you're going to come out there with a message that is distinct and unique to something that you probably have never heard before.
Well, I want to say on behalf of the Bronx, if I can speak on behalf of the Bronx, thank you for taking the initiative to come from this perspective as opposed to the clinical perspective and not judge and just place labels, right? Because you know what? Art heals.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's what we're about. Woo! All right. So once again, What Creates Health is taking place on Saturday, September 24th from 12:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Hostos Community College, which is located at 500 Grand Concourse in the Bronx. And be sure to RSVP by going to eventbrite.com. And of course, once again, it's What Creates Health. Something for you to think about. All right, we do have to take a quick break, but there's more open when we return.